Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the Internet's most passionate wine program. Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you for watching this show as we continue our journey to 1,000. 1000. And we've been asked to do a Cava show by many different people, actually, and so we decided to oblige. Many of you have known through the years, through my articles in different magazines, that I've long been pushing Cava, which is really prominent in the Catalonia region in Spain, about 40 kilometers southwest of Barcelona. And just an amazingly interesting sparkling wine made in the method of champagne style, not made from your traditional Chardonnay or Pinot Noir grapes, though Chardonnay is now allowed. That being said, though Cava started being produced in 1872, it was not only until the 1980s did Chardonnay become legally allowed to be part of the process. So a little fun fact there, if you want to nerd it up, if you want to act Coolio. Wow, remember Coolio? What was Coolio's song? It was this weird song. Something Paradise. Some rapper. Anyway, if you want to be Coolio, let people know that fun fact in your holiday dinner. That's what you want to bring out. You don't want to talk about the politics or the weather, the big game. Be like, that's champagne. By the way, have you ever heard of Cava? It's a Greek word, actually. Spanish sparkling wine. Chardonnay, you know that grape? Wasn't really allowed until the 80s, even though it started in 1872. Ma, can you see somebody rolling that way? That is how you get the ladies. That is how you get the ladies. So Xarel-lo, which is a Xarel-IO, is one of the predominant grape varietals. Most of these are Xarel-lo based. Macabeo, Macabeo, is the other dominant. So those are two grapes, not grapes that you hear a whole lot about. If you're watching this, you're new to Wine Library TV, you've probably never heard of that. If you're a wine nerd, you know what I'm talking about. Two great white wines that are much more flexible. Xarel-lo still wines have become quite intensely popular lately. But here's what I love about Cava. Made in the champagne style, but not the champagne prices. These wines roll in, at 10, 11, 10, and 16 bones. Mott. This is affordable sparkling wine. If you're watching this is why I did a little bit earlier, Tuesday, as the, a little couple weeks away now, not even, 10 days away, 13 days away, 11 days away, from New Year's. This might be a great alternative if you're having a huge party, if you're thinking forward into like wedding season or New Year or graduation next year. But definitely, if you were having a party, and I remember a couple years ago, Lizzie and I had a big party. I used a crap load of Cava, like 40 bottles. So if you're having a party, you might want to have a couple nice bottles of champagne on the side for you and your pals that know. But if you're just having like the college kids over who are all 21 or older or things of that nature, you may want to look at Cava because it's tremendously well made, very high quality. As a matter of fact, Cava in Greek means high end. Mott. I mean, this used to be very high-end. It's funny because now it's the value play. Literally in Latin means cave. And that's how you used to have to store sparkling wine back in the day when this was named. I'm just very hot on Cava's comeback. For a long time, Freixenet. Freixenet, the black bottle. You know what? This is a wine shop. Hold on one second. That's right, Mott. You know what? Let's get to the holiday cheer. Let's go downstairs.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people who've watched the show have never actually seen the store before. We haven't really done a show about the store in a long, long time. So I just want to give us an opportunity to kind of, show you guys going downstairs here. So going downstairs here, I want to show you. As you can see, people are shopping. People are shopping, so we don't want to bother. How are you? How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
So Freixenet, guys, where's Freixenet? You know what Freixenet? Claire, do you know what Freixenet is?
Yeah, Freixenet's right down here.
Thanks.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So, this is the bottle that most people kind of, thought of when they thought of Cava. It was really the popular wine. Freixenet, it's really inexpensive. $8.99 bottle. Used to come with kind of the pen, and you could do the whole thing. So, let me grab this. Let me give them a little. There's mine. All right, let's go. Have a great holiday. So, that's kind of the Freixenet, and that's kind of, you know, the Cava that most people are used to. And for a long time, that's what people really thought when they thought Cava. But now, in the last 5 years or so, Cava's kind of reestablished itself and has had some other players kind of pop up and make a scene. So let's go into these. Wine number 1, Cava Hill. Brut de Brut, Cava. This wine is $10 US. It is 40% Xarel-lo, 25 Macabeo. And so as you can see, very predominant on those 2 white wine grapes. Let's see what's going on here. So you can see the bubbles coming through, but not too crazy. Kind of quickly got rid of the foam. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Kind of really pretty peach and passion fruit coming through on the nose. Little sugar cane actually as well. But very peachy, very peachy. Let's give it a whirl. Nice acidity, kind of crisp, kind of clean, but a terrible finish that is almost like a disappearing act. Little Houdini and Casper the Friendly Ghost, little David Blaine exploded in my mouth on this wine, which kind of pisses me off because it was going well. We just did a whole tour of the store. We're all pumped up. It's bubbles, it's festive, and Cava Hill comes at me and really brings nothing from like the third quarter on. It's like a late collapse, you know, maybe like, let's call it like 8 or 9 minutes left in a game and you just collapse. That's what this wine reminds me of. So all you Big Blue fans can, you know, relate to this bottle. But this is a pretty poor effort. It's got a little nice fruit. It started lovely. We were kind of all excited. Everything was kind of going well. And then this wine really collapsed. I just actually went on my computer a little while ago. Saw Netflix kind of collapsed. And I'm wondering what's going on with the stock. Kind of that kind of thing. Like, whoosh. Like kind of economy, 2008, September, October. I'm going to score this wine 79 points. I think it's a major pass and one of the more disappointing Cavas I've had in a long time. And we're off to a pretty bad start. And in general, yesterday's show, now we're on a little bit of a cold streak. Can you get us out of the cold streak? 1 + 1 = 3. Now this is a Cava we've had before on the show, I'm almost positive. This is 45% Xarel-lo. Let's give it a little rinse first. See what we can get here on the sniffy sniff. Now you can notice it's a little bit lighter, and again, not too many bubbles, kind of staying pretty calm. Maybe rinse it up a little. You can get the bubbles though. Little sniffy sniff. A little bit of smokiness, almost like almost taking like lemons and putting them on the barbecue. So there's like some citrus and some smokiness coming through on this. I actually like the Cava Hill nose a lot more than this. That's a bad start. Let's give it a whirl. This has a little bit more acidity than the last wine, which excites me. It's got a little more oomph. It's a little more real. This is better. This is a better made Cava. It's got more acidity and structure, and the finish is, I don't know, 6 quadrillion times better. You can actually taste something, Cava Hill. I mean, you know, this is like not even coming out. Oh my god, you should see what's going on in the bucket. It's almost overflowed. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot better, but this is serviceable, and I don't want this to be kind of like the cutest girl in an ugly high school. Like, you know, let's keep it where it is. This is an 87-point effort, and I think I've liked it in the past a little bit more. Either I'm in a bad mood, which makes no sense. Huge Jets win on Sunday. Being a little more critical, I'm not sure, but you know, solid, very good, and I'm thrilled at $11, to be honest with you. There's a lot of champagne at 35 bones, a lot of $25 to $40 sparkling wine from California that doesn't excite me as much as this, so I am happy about that. So good work on that. All right, let's move on. 87, not bad. Now this is one of the producers that I used to carry. This was the only other cava we carried with Fresgenet years ago. We carried it sporadically. The Cordenu, Cordenu Cava. This is old school, my friends. This is 40% Macabeo and 20% Xarel-lo. And this is hardcore, old school. And Paradella, Parellada is another grape that we see in the last two, and this one a little bit more, but Paradella is 30% of this wine. So we haven't mentioned Paradella. It's another classic sparkling grape made within Cava. Again, the bubbles, a little bit more action here on the frizz, but again, as you can see, it doesn't have that continuous stream of bubbles, so it's not as bubbly. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Actually, I'm going to give it a rinse. I'm not sure. Did I give it a rinse? Just had a double check there, Mott, because we got to come through for the Maniacs. Little foam head. Little sniffy sniff. So this is kind of, this just smells like cheap sparkling wine to me, to be honest with you. I mean, do you remember Certs? This is like putting a Certs into water and you kind of like a spearmint, minty fruit. It's almost like, remember when they try to mix, you know, like peppermint and spearmint and like Winty Fresh with fruit? You know when gums or candies have done that through the years and it never works because they're two separate categories? This wine smells like somebody tried to mix a Certs with like a Jawbreaker or Starburst or Now and Later. You know, kind of like fruit and mint. I don't know. I just don't like it. It smells kind of cheap, to be honest with you as well. It is inexpensive. Let's give it a whirl. So, I don't know where this leaves us as the buildup of like, hey, Cava, go out and get Cava, and I'm going to scare the crap out of you to ever try Cava. But I'm going to score another wine under 80 points. I'm going to score this wine 77 points. I like this is making the Cava Hill look good. This just lacks anything that's interesting. It's hollow. It's disjointed. It doesn't even taste that well. It tastes really like somebody took apple juice, let's call it Mott's apple juice, and took seltzer and threw it in there and mixed the two together and said, here. I mean, that's literally what this wine tastes like. I'm not impressed. As a matter of fact, I'm depressed. Let's move on. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's just not, it's just weird. We're trying to expand palates here, but the wines are not cooperating. Gramona Gran Cava, non-vintage, $16 US, 33% Xarel-lo, 33% Macabeo, and 33% Chardonnay. And you can kind of see what the Chardonnay is doing. This is probably the most golden of the four efforts, excuse me, four. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. And here we go. So this is a little bit more interesting. Right off the bat, it's like the golden yellow apple thing coming through, but there's also like a burnt tire that I like in here. And just has a little bit more of like classic yeasty cinnamon toast crunch, toasted, bready, not Brett, like bread, nose. Let's give it a whirl. Got caught. You like that, Mott? That excited you?
It was all the gas.
Much better. And definitely the creme de la creme here. Very complex fruit. I think the Chardonnay percentage helps this wine. I'm not this crazy Chardonnay head, but clearly it's giving it more oomph. There's much more intriguing body weight here, let's say, compared to the last wine, which had none. I'd still probably, and this is a 2007 vintage, by the way. So this is a vintage, not a non-vintage. Though they don't say it on the front. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. So this was an 07 vintage, and you're just seeing the pedigree come out of here. This is a vintage. It's more expensive. It's 16 instead of 10, and 11. and you're kind of seeing it. To me, this is an 89 plus point right there. Here we go. Instead of a $30, I'll be honest with you, I think this rivals a lot of the Clicquot, Moet, Perrier Jouet. Though I gotta say, Taittinger this year was really good. This is good. This is good sparkling wine at 17 bones. 16! At 16, though, I hate that number, Vinny Testaverde. At 16 bones, a really well-made sparkling wine that finally brought the thunder. And really, you know what? Kind of the way it is. It's kind of like this is the lead singer, and this is the rest of this. This actually is perfect. This and the rest, though, this was pretty solid. So maybe it should be more like this. Question of the day. What sparkling wines are you considering for New Year's? You, with a little bit of me, we are changing that wine world.